What's up, YouTube? This is Buckshot33, aka Boston Chris, and I am back with, this is now part 4 of my weekend haul. So we got some more books that I picked up on last Saturday, and just to give a little background, as always, the sale came up to 90%, so I picked up a lot of different books, and these ones that I'm going to show today are basically just a bunch of, not modern, maybe I guess you can call them modern, maybe late Copper Age, early modern, I don't know. But I'm going to start off with another, flash of my childhood here. We have Transformers. This is issue number 9. This is the first appearance of this girl right here. Her name is Circuit Breaker. And I guess she has the ability to kill Transformers or to destroy any machine. So, I guess she's kind of a big deal. I don't know. I never read it. Like, growing up, I normally got G.I. Joe comics. I didn't get many Transformers, and the Transformers that I did get were like the later on issues. But, used to love the show. I mean, I watched, the Generation 1, Generation 2, and then, as things progress, watch like Beast Wars and everything like that. So, huge fan of the Transformers. I mean, how can you go wrong? You get the Hasbro family, Transformers, and then, G.I. Joe, which is like, they went hand in hand. So, moving on, we have issue number 26. And this is the first appearance of this guy here. He's called the Mechanic, and I guess he's another one who can, dismantle the Transformers. Another one I didn't really, I've never read before. I mean, it's hard to believe that this guy's taking out Transformers. What he reminds me, I don't know if you guys ever seen that movie, Arachnophobia. Just, he looks like, not quite John Goodman. I mean, not quite in build, but, if you remember John Goodman, his character, the way he was when he was trying to eliminate the spiders, he had the two misters with, the gas in them to kill the spiders. So, that's kind of like what this guy reminds me of. And I mean, it makes sense because he's basically exterminating, Transformers. So, 2 books I would definitely end up reading at some point just to kind of, get a little bit more background on those. And over time, I'm going to collect some more Transformers comics. It's not something that's an imperative to me. Like, eventually I'll end up picking up some here and there, but it is something that is fun to collect and it's fun to have, and just to see the difference between the actual show versus how they're portrayed in the comics. Because I guess the comics, kind of like the G.I. Joe ones, they're a little bit more violent, they're a little bit more serious. So, definitely something I'm glad to be picking up. Moving on, we have some good old Iron Man, and we're going to start off with issue number 160. Nothing special about this one, just kind of a cool cover, so I just decided to pick it up. Next up, we have number 163, and this is the first appearance of Obadiah Stane. If you don't remember, in the Iron Man movie, he's the villain. He works for Tony Stark initially, and then turns out to be a jerk, and he's the one that really wants to weaponize his suit and make it a big deal, and he makes his own suit later on. But this issue is the cameo. He has an actual full appearance, and I think it's issue number 166, which I picked up, in another video, so you can check that one out. Next we have number 164. Just keeping up with that story. And then we have number 167, and so this would be Obadiah, bald, crazy-looking dude, and at least in the comic books, that's what he looks like. And this actually is kind of significant because, as everybody knows, Tony Stark has a big battle, a few, maybe back in, was it 128, and, that's when he's battling his alcohol addiction. This issue is actually when it comes back, like he turns back to drinking. So, I figured it's a turning point for this character. It's actually leads into a really low point for him moving forward. So, definitely a book that I'd like to have. Not a humongous key in terms of, killer characters or anything like that, but it is something that, you know, if you're a fan of Iron Man, if you're a fan of just seeing the characters struggle, their characters, you know, development and everything, it's a good story to have. So continuing on, we have number 168, and I really like this cover. He is beating the hell out of Machine Man here, and the first thing that come to mind when I first saw this is, you know, because you see him with both of Machine Man's arms. It's like, you know, he's got him, why are you hitting yourself? Why are you hitting yourself? You know what I mean? That's the first thing that popped in my head. I don't know. But next up we have issue number 169. And this is, I guess I would call it another minor key because, as you can see, Tony is really just, you know, he's in trouble. And he's still battling his alcohol, you know, during this whole time as well. So, what happens, and I haven't read in the book, I just know, you know, the actual details of the book. And so what happens is that James Rhodes, a.k.a. Rhodey, a.k.a. War Machine, takes over. This is the first time that he takes over the job as Iron Man. Now, I don't think he puts on the suit in this one. That's in issue number 170, which unfortunately wasn't at my store. But, you know, he becomes the new, basically he decides that he's going to take up the mantle of Iron Man in that book. 170 is the first time you see him actually in the suit, and then following these issues up until about, I think it's like issue 200 or so, is when you see it's all James Rhodey in the suit. It's not Tony Stark at all. So next up we have number 171, and this one he is battling who's this? Thunderball, I think it is. One of the Wrecking Crew. I know that much, right? Yeah, Thunderball. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I know them all as far as appearance goes, but sometimes I mess up their names. So, but this also is the first appearance of, and I'm gonna mess up her name. It's Clinamnatra Ellis, and who she is she basically is somebody who helps her and her brother Morris help out Tony Stark during this whole time. They have a company called Circuit Maximus, and they basically provide the tech support for you know, James Rhodes in the Iron Man suit, and they kind of try to help Tony Stark avoid bankruptcy just because everything's falling apart for him. So this is her first appearance, and this is, you know, where I guess they build up their friendship. Next up we have issue number 172, and I really like this. I love this cover just because, you know, you can see that Tony Stark is in really bad shape. I mean, really bad shape. You know, Captain America is coming to save his life, and you know, there's Rhodey battling, you know, this guy over here. But I mean, literally, Tony Stark is just in rough shape. So then we have issue number 173, and if you can, as you can see, they're taking down the stock off of Stock International and putting up Stane. So Obadiah Stane basically takes over his, you know, takes over his company. Tony really, I guess, financially is in ruin, and you know, he's got some serious problems. So, you know, really cool. We have number 174, and you know, I love this one just because of all the different suits that are on there. It's pretty cool. And through all this, he's battling his alcohol. Got issue number 175. And there's another cool cover just because, you know, all the suits are at the bottom of the ocean now, just because, you know, I mean, it's kind of like in Iron Man 3, I guess, like when what was it, when Mandarin blows up his house and all his suits go on the bottom. He has to go back and find them and stuff. Then we have issue number 176, which this is actually a really just cool cover. Like, I just like the way this is drawn. You know, just checking it out, like, you know, it's pretty cool. You know, I like the colors, how everything kind of contrasts with everything. Nice. Issue number 194, and I like this one just because you see the old suit and, you know, at that time the newer suit. Definitely a cool, you know, cool looking issue. And we got 195, and this has an appearance of the Shaman from Alpha Flight. And apparently, Rhodey has some type of thing wrong with him, and he needs a cure. Don't know what it is. Never read it, but I will, just because I want to check that out. And then finally, for this haul, we have, or this part of the haul, have number 199. And this one is when so Obadiah Stane decides to go ahead and bomb Circuit Maximus, and he ends up killing Morris Ellis, the guy who tries to help out Tony in his time of need. So he dies, and this leads from Tony to actually do something and go after Obadiah Stane. So in 200 he comes back, and he fights and kills Obadiah, and what happens is that Morris's sister ends up really resenting Tony after this, because I guess from what I've read, from what I've heard, he kind of doesn't turn a cold shoulder to her, but he kind of just takes, he's basically taking care of himself and not really looking out for his friends, and so she ends up really just hating him, and then she teams up with AIM to try to kill him. So, good friends become bitter enemies based off of, just a bunch of really bad circumstances. So it's definitely a cool story to read. Definitely something I'm going to be checking into, because, like I said, what I think helps us really identify and love these characters is the stories that really help define them and flesh them out. I mean, it's great to have all the big keys and know that you had the first appearance of this really big character and that really big character, but also too, part of what I love about comics is just the story. I mean, the keys are awesome. The keys are great. I mean, everybody loves them. Those are the ones that are worth the most money. Those are the ones that really you aspire to get. But then there's also just the story itself and some of the story arcs that really stand out. So this is when I was actually happy to purchase this. I'm happy to have in my collection, and like I said, for 90% off. I mean, checking the prices of these books, I mean, these are like mostly $3 books, a couple of $4 books. I think the first few were maybe like $6, $7 books. So let's see. Let me go back to there's one $10, one $6, and then the rest are like basically $3 and $4. Yeah. So, at 90% off, it's a steal. I mean, literally, like, you're talking, less than $1 for every issue except for the $10 one. I mean, why not fill in some holes? So definitely happy to have these. I'm definitely happy to, be able to partake in all this. So I want to thank everybody for watching. Just to let you know that, this is definitely something that, I'm just happy that everybody's, taking the time out of their day to go ahead and check out my haul. So stay tuned for the next part. Is going to be, I think, 2 more. And, I have, 1 more from the weekend, and then the books that I picked up, sale books still I picked up on this last Comic Book Wednesday. So what I'm going to do is, I'll just put 2 more parts for the sale itself, and then my Comic Book Wednesday books, the new books that I picked up from last week and from this week, I'm going to go ahead and combine together in one video. So with that, I'm going to get going, and just going to, get ready to make episode 5 of this, or part 5 of this actual haul. So again, thank you for watching. Please comment, please like and subscribe. If this is your first video, or if this is the first time you're watching something about the sale, go back and watch my other videos. Like I said, I'm organizing them into a playlist so that you can see the whole entire summer sale. So, that I will end up having up and ready as soon as I have all 6 parts of this video done. So, look out for that. But just want to say thank you. And again, this is Buckshot33, aka Boston Chris. I'm out.